Do you ever opened a research article, skim the first paragraph, and immediately wanted to close the tab? You're not alone. For many educators and school leaders, reading research can feel intimidating. It's like it's written in another language, or meant only for those with a PhD. But here's the thing, you don't need to read every word of a study in order to make evidence informed decisions. You just need a strategy. Hi, friends. I'm Courtney, and I've spent over 15 years helping educators make smart, evidence based decisions. Today, I'm going to walk you through a simple, practical way to read a research article without getting overwhelmed. And this video is the first in a series, so make sure you like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the follow ups. Okay, let's start with this. Not all parts of the research article are equally useful for practitioners. Most articles follow the same basic structure: abstract, introduction, literature review, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion. But you don't have to read it in that order. In fact, you really shouldn't. Here's a step-by-step approach that I recommend. Step 1, start with the abstract. The abstract is your preview. It gives you a quick overview of the study's purpose, how it was done, and what the researchers found. As you're reading, ask yourself, is this related to a problem I'm facing in my school or classroom? Does it focus on a population or context similar to mine? If the answer to either of those questions is no, you can move on. You don't need to read any further. But if it's yes, then it's worth diving deeper. Step 2, jump to the conclusion or discussion. Usually in life, I recommend not jumping to conclusions, but here's a chance to decidedly break that rule. Yes, I said jump ahead. The conclusion is where the authors usually summarize their key findings and implications. It houses the information you really want to know, like what did they find? What do they think it means for practice? And are there any cautions or limitations noted? This section gives you the so what of the paper so that you can decide if reading the other sections is worth your limited time. Step 3, skim the introduction and literature review. These sections help you to understand the problem the study is trying to solve. They explain why this topic matters, what previous research has said about it, and how this study builds on the existing foundation. Again, you don't have to read every word and every reference. Instead, try to determine what gap it is that the study is trying to fill. Determine if it aligns with something you've observed in your own practice. Are they building on credible sources? This step gives you context for the rest of the article, and it helps you think critically about the author's motivations. Step 4, check out the methods, then focus on the results. The methods section can be dense, and it's where most people want to give up. But here's what you need to know. Who was in the study? How many people? What kind of study was it? Was it experimental, a survey, qualitative? And how did they collect their data? You're looking for signals of trustworthiness. Was the sample size big enough? Was the study design appropriate for the research question? Once you've done that, you can focus on the results. You don't have to be a statistician to get the big picture. Look at the tables, charts, and summaries and ask yourself, what did they measure? Is it the same thing that we are looking to measure here? What changed from the beginning to the end of the study? Were the results statistically significant? And perhaps more importantly, were they practically significant for the students and teachers involved? Sometimes studies show tiny changes that are statistically real, but not actually useful in the real world. It's important that we consider both statistical and practical significance when reviewing a study's results. Step number 5, scan for limitations and next steps. Most articles will include a limitation section, and this is gold. This tells you where the study might fall short. A small sample size, a short time frame, a lack of generalizability. Use this to decide how much weight you want to give to the findings in your own decision making. And remember, every study is going to have limitations, and that's a good thing. You'll also often see recommendations for future research. That's where you start to see opportunities. What's still unknown, and where does your professional expertise need to fill in some of the gaps in your decision making? Here's a bonus tip: don't read alone. If you're still feeling overwhelmed, review the research as part of a team. In a professional learning community or a leadership group, divide that article out. Assign different sections to different people, come back together and share your takeaways. This turns research review into a real conversation and makes the work lighter, smarter, and more collaborative. To recap, we're going to start with the abstract. We're going to jump to the conclusions. We're going to skim the intro and methods. We're going to zoom in on the results. We're going to focus on limitations, and we're not going to try to go it alone. You don't need to be a research expert to be an evidence-empowered educator. You just need a plan and a willingness to engage. If you found this video helpful today, make sure you like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the next video in this series where we'll break down how to understand the research method sections without needing a degree in statistics. I'll see you next time.